Then in he walks, this music's playing in the background, and he walks with flowers. You're gonna cry. He's gonna cry. Okay, you guys. So we have had people ask us before how Shad and I met, and hopefully Shad can stay focused in right now because we have the Mariners game going on in the background, and baseball is his favorite sport. So, but anyway, so we are going to do hopefully a quick version of how Shad and I met. So, just really quick, a little backstory that I was married before, for, I don't know, years. And then I was, single for 4 years before I met Shad. And then you...
I don't remember how long I was single. Maybe longer than 4 years.
Well, probably like at least 2 years probably before I met Shad. I went online, I did like Match.com, I did eHarmony, I did some of the free dating apps, and I met a lot of weird people. Like weird, creepy people. I mean, literally out of all the guys I met, there was like 2 maybe that were like normal.
It's hard being in your 30s and dating and people, they have so many things that they I don't know, that they want and they're looking for, they think that they need, and
you never knew who you were gonna meet, or you know, they could look good in their dating profile, but then when you actually even talk to them on the phone, I'm like, weirdo. No way, not happening. Or met him in person. Like there were a couple times, or at least one time I know of for sure, that I was a little bit scared actually, and I ran across Shad's profile on the dating site, and it was a free dating site. It was Plenty of Fish.
What?
Yeah.
No.
That's the free one. Oh, okay, Cupid. I was on both of them. They're free. I was on both of them.
Plenty of Fish is more of a hookup one.
Oh, I didn't know that. It was free. I don't know. Okay, we met on OK Cupid. Sorry. So I remember though looking at his picture, and he looked cute and sporty. Like he was at a Mariners game actually. I think his profile picture, or one of his pictures, I don't know, but I just was like, oh my gosh, this guy looks really cute. And then I read his profile and I was like, that's him. Like that's the guy I want to marry. I was like, nothing's gonna happen of it, because there were a few times I would see somebody's profile and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good profile, like they're cute, we have the same things in common, and then usually they would bail on me, kind of like he did, which I'll tell you in a minute.
I didn't.
Most of all, I was looking for like a Christian guy, like a legitimate good Christian guy, and I think I clicked on that, like, yes, I'd like to meet, or I liked you, or something. It wasn't, that's Match.com is a wink. But the same idea, something like that. And so of course, if I do that, then it shows up to him. He gets a notification that I said that. And so then he sent me an email, right? Or a message.
Yeah, I was like,
in
wow.
In the dating site.
This beautiful lady, there's no way I get to date her, but
all I know is I got a message, and probably for 2 or 3 weeks we messaged back and forth.
Sure.
And then, oh my gosh, what exactly happened? Like, I think he was just being flaky, like a little flaky. He wasn't messaging me, and like I said, I was on a mission, and I was like, all right, this is another guy that's just like, oh, whatever. And that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for somebody that was like serious, wanted to start a serious relationship and get married.
I was, I don't know, scared that it wasn't going to work out. I didn't want to scared to put forth the effort, and if it wasn't gonna work out, I guess, you know, confidence thing, and I was like, no way that she would want to go out with me.
So let's see, what happened was I ended up sending him a message, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna get off of this dating site, because in the meantime, yeah, I was still getting creepy messages from guys, and it was just so frustrating and annoying being on that dating site because guys were weird. But I told him, I was like, hey, I'm gonna get off of here. And part of me, maybe it was like pushing him a little bit, but I was like, I'm gonna get off of here, but if you want to contact me, here's my phone number. And so I deleted my profile, and I remember I sent him that message before I went to church one Sunday. And I got out of church and I checked my phone, and there was a text from some random number, and I opened it up and it was him. And I was like, no way. Like, oh my gosh, he texted me. I was so excited. And I remember the text said, hey Krista, this is Shad. Something about, I used to go to that church. Do you still know, or do you know a guy named Ron? He's the greeter there. And I think that's pretty much all it said. And then he asked if there was a Sunday night church, if they still had a Sunday night service. And so, of course, I texted him back right away, and I'm like, hey, thanks for texting me. You know, I've never heard of that Ron guy, and sorry, I don't think they have a Sunday night service anymore. And so I was just trying to keep it light and like, blah, 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 not acting like, oh my gosh, this guy just texted me and I'm so excited. And I just want to be like, whatever. Very nonchalant. Breezy, as Monica would say. Holding my phone, sitting in the church parking lot thinking he's going to text me right back. And so he wasn't texting me, and I was like, okay, well, I'll just leave. I'll go home, you know, whatever. And still wasn't texting me back. A few hours passed, and I was like, is he really mad because I told him that there wasn't a Sunday night church anymore? Or he's not texting me back? There was nothing. Nothing. Like, it was crickets. No text. Ever. No text. Ever. Days, weeks, nothing. So I was like, screw him. This guy got me all excited. He even texted me. And then I texted him back, and I was like, what did I say wrong?
I had no idea.
Well, tell the truth. He was dating a girl.
No.
Yes.
No, I wasn't dating.
Well, you were meeting with a girl, and so I was kind of the second choice at the time. Yes, you told me that. You met her at a grocery store, at Starbucks, at a grocery store.
So I met her one time.
Yeah, I know. But you had told me before that, like, you two had kind of been talking a little bit, and so yeah. Again, I just don't think, like, you know.
I was, but the main reason I didn't text her back was I was kind of scared to get together, and I was really poor at the time. I didn't have any money, and I was worried that, like
now. We're poor together, really.
I was worried because at Christmas time, with my job is really slow, and I was worried that if I asked her out, then she's gonna want to go out. And
well, because that was part of the problem with the girl that you had met at the coffee shop at the grocery store. You met her online, but you had told me that she was like asking you about like what designer clothes you wear and stuff like that. And people, like, a lot of people, if you live in the Seattle area, they just assume you work at Microsoft and have a lot of money. And yes, he works at Microsoft, but he works in the catering department.
Yeah. So,
no, not. I mean, it's cool he works at Microsoft. It's really awesome. You guys, like, come visit us and we'll take you there for lunch. So, probably a month went by, like Christmas passed and everything, and it was the second week in January. And I had got back on the dating site, and literally like the next morning at like 4 or 5 in the morning, I hear my phone buzz, and it's a message from him. And I was like, are you kidding me? You had my phone number this whole time and now you choose to message me on the dating site? I don't understand. Like, I was so confused and annoyed. And by then, like, I was like, you know, well, he was just another one of those guys.
When you got back on the dating site, I'm like, oh my gosh, I better message her now because all these other guys are gonna get a chance to see her. And I think you popped up on my, like, we were very compatible on the like percentile match, percentage match, and you popped up. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's back on here. She's, you know, somebody's gonna find her and swoop her away from me, and I don't want to miss this chance.
But when he messaged me, I think I waited like 2 days to message him back. I was like, I'm not giving him a clue that I'm all excited and whatever. And actually by then I really wasn't. I was annoyed because I had been through that before with other guys, and I was like, I'm not wasting my time on guys like that.
Well, didn't you went out with a guy right around then? It was your birthday.
Oh, he was just a friend. He was a friend. He was a friend. That's funny, you remember that. He was a friend.
Yeah, I remember.
He was just a friend.
Because I think we were Facebook friends by then.
Well, no, because it was right at the Super Bowl time, and the Broncos, it was like a month before the Super Bowl, and the Broncos and the Seahawks were playing each other, and I'm a Broncos fan and he's a Seahawks fan. So it started out like kind of flirty, texting back and forth, like jabbing each other about the other team. You know, I'd send him like funny memes of the Seahawks and he would send them back to me, and so that's just kind of how it started. And then I had made a commitment. He's watching the game. Oh, Seahawks just did something bad. I mean, Seahawks always do something bad. Kidding. The Mariners. I had made a commitment that I was never going to introduce Kennedy to a guy unless I knew it was, you know, pretty serious, and make sure the guys were normal. And so Shad finally, in our texting back and forth, he was like, hey, do you want to go out for coffee this Sunday? And I was like, finally, like 3 months later, he finally asks me for coffee. Yes, it was. So, anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, so he asked me for coffee. Well, it just so happened that I had Kennedy that weekend, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to tell him no, because I'm not bringing Kennedy, like, you know, I'm not gonna have her meet this stranger. But then something just kept telling me, like, he was fine, he was normal. I actually had stalked his Facebook, so I saw pictures of his family, and, you know, he seemed like a normal guy. And same thing with me, I found out later, right? You had stalked my Facebook.
That's how I knew it was your birthday. That's right, because I was...
Oh, okay. Well, he stalks everybody's Facebook, FYI. If you didn't know that, now you know. So I said, I'm like, hey, I have my daughter this weekend, so, you know, I can't go to coffee, but would you and your son like to meet us at a park? And so he was like, yeah, sounds good. I was like, oh my gosh, okay, we're gonna meet. And so we did. We went to this beach. It's called Alki Beach. That's where we met.
And I remember I was like scared to ask you then if you wanted to get together again.
So he didn't ask me.
He didn't?
No. The next weekend.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Sorry.
So 2 weeks later, I had Kennedy again, or I actually might have had her the following weekend. I think I did, because then our schedule was different, but I did have her the following weekend. So I texted him and I was like, hey, Kennedy and I are gonna go into Seattle tonight to the Gum Wall. Do you and Josiah wanna come with us? And he was like, sure. And then we just walked around like downtown through Pike Place Market, and The kids played on this like metal octopus thing, and then I was so poor. Like literally I had like $30 in my checking account, and I remember telling Kennedy like, hey, if they ask to go to dinner, like we can't do it, I don't have any money. Well, Shad was like, there's a Red Robin right down on the water, and he was like, hey, do you want to, the kids were hungry because we went right at dinner time, and Shad was like, do you want to go to Red Robin? And I was like, sure. So I spent all my money that I had at Red Robin, but it was worth it because I got to go.
Why didn't I pay for you? What did I try?
No,
And,
he's cheap. It's all right.
and slow.
We just, I don't know, ever since then we just like hit it off, and we were together all the time, and texting, and we would just hang out. And then finally I was like, dude, when are you gonna marry me? Like, come on. So October of that same year, right? October? I need to look on my Facebook or on my time hop. Yeah, he asked me to marry him, and he got me a beautiful ring. You guys see my ring? Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Isn't it pretty? So he went to Pike Place Market, and he got flowers from there and chocolate, like Seattle chocolates or something.
Oh, way better than Seattle chocolates.
Oh, what was I
don't remember.
From Seattle.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, he walked in, he had Kennedy play some music, and on her phone, or my phone, or I don't know, his phone maybe. But I was mad at him because he was supposed to come over to my apartment, and he was late. And I was like, I was so annoyed. I was like, it's already late, you might as well not even come. Well, then in he walks, this music's playing in the background, and he walks with flowers. You're gonna cry, he's gonna cry. And he walks with flowers and chocolate and a ring, and he asked me to marry him, and it was so sweet. He would always like tell me little things, so I knew eventually, yes, it was going to happen, but I was not expecting it that day at all. And so yeah, then so he asked me to marry him, and then I was like, all right, we're doing it then, like the next month. So you asked me in October, and then we set it for November 29th. And what?
It's quick.
I told you I was on a mission. Be with us. We only had our family there. We wanted something, well, I don't know exactly how you felt. I wanted something just small and super cheap. Like, I didn't want to spend money. We got our cake at Costco. I did buy a designer dress from Nordstrom, but it wasn't a white dress or anything. And
A really pretty dress.
it was pretty. I need to fit back into that thing. But, you know, and he got a nice suit, and we bought some roses from Safeway. But it was beautiful. Like, we got married in like the Watershed Park in Seattle. Isn't that what it's called? Watershed?
No, but something like that.
Okay. Anyway, this really old, tiny building and this tiny park really close to downtown Seattle, and it had like the skyline view, the Space Needle right there.
Oh yeah, right there.
It snowed the morning of our wedding. It snowed. Like, it never snows here. Like, it didn't snow at all last year. But it snowed the morning of our wedding, and yeah, it was perfect. It was exactly what I was hoping for. And then we went to the old spaghetti factory with everybody. So anyway, that's it basically. Like, and then literally sometime within the, I don't know, couple days after we got married, I got pregnant. Which is fine. Like, I always thought I wanted another baby, and Shad was just kind of like, oh, if it happens, it happens, right? We weren't expecting it that soon, but yeah, that's what happened, so.
No, I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah, me either. So he just treats me so good, and yeah, I love our love story. It's perfect. Out of all the creepers on those dating sites, oh my gosh, I got the guy that I wanted. So.
Thank you. I got what I wanted.
So that's it.
The pretty girl.
Aww. Thank you. Alright, so that's it, you guys. Yeah. If you have any other questions, let us know. But that's it. That's the story of how we became together. Shad and Krista. And we're gonna be married forever. Even though we drive each other nuts.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Another online dating success.
Yes. I wouldn't recommend that for everybody. Be careful. If you're a young girl, be careful. Just be careful. But for us, it turned out good.
That's great.
Okay. So, that's all. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.